welcome back to the 2023 Phoenix Media Day. So Stacey Fischer with Senior Resource Connectors here, which is that local footprint for the national presence that we've got with the partnerships of parent projects. You guys are literally where the rubber meets the road. Talk to us about Senior Resource Connectors and where your focus is and what you guys do.
Well, it gave birth during COVID.
Okay.
We were moving a lot of our friends, parents close by to live locally with their mom and dad.
Yeah.
And especially Scott, myself, my husband, Scott, we were talking about how they need a new Medicare plan, a new physician, a new, you want to make sure Arizona has some pretty particular mental health power of attorneys that people really don't know about if they're coming from Iowa.
Right.
And so we decided that we would start a company called Senior Resource Connectors. So we brought together about 40 companies locally that have had really good traction, really great reputations in the Phoenix area. And we formed a coalition to educate the adult children on the resources they may need for their mom and dad.
That's great. I mean, you truly are making the difficult manageable and help people work their way to figure out what's what as you work through it. Yeah.
We're trying.
Yeah.
We like to say we're the pre-need narrative. That's what we want. We want to give the adult children education so they're not working out of a crisis situation.
Yeah.
I'll use an example. Right before, in the middle of starting this, my uncle was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. He didn't have powers of attorney in place. We were having to run up to Cottonwood and get mobile notaries, take my cousin to the bank. He didn't understand. And we work in the business.
Right.
And so I don't want anybody else to go through what my cousin had to go through.
Yeah. Those are, especially these days where a single healthcare event seems to be able to take you from like 0 to 80, 80 to 90, like very, very quickly. It can push you to the extremes. It can wipe out, financial resources that forces other people to have to put in. So helping people get in front of it. I love it. It's a good part of the mission. I think it's a place where we work really, really well together. But particularly things are like you're laying out the uniqueness of individual markets, like knowing people who understand those people that have traction in those given areas for that particular, that's an important starting point sometimes when somebody's just overwhelmed or confused, to know that there's multiple perspectives to help them kind of get clarity.
Absolutely. And a lot of our members, we have elder law attorneys, Medicare specialists, geriatric managers, all very important. And that's just to name a few. But we just put out a newsletter last week, and we were really proud of it because we were highlighting all of our members, and so many of them have won awards for their almost wonderful outside the box thoughts on aging. Stephanie Bivens from Bivens and Associates just won an award. We have Just in Time Moving. Justin and George just were awarded a medal down, at downtown Phoenix. So several of our home care companies have won best in their class. So we're really proud of the people that we represent.
Yeah, so tell me what's the interaction look like for family members when they're coming for you guys? Online platform primarily, right? A website that they can come through and start getting oriented. Okay.
Yes,
for Phoenix.
there's a website. We have all sorts of videos and blogs and content on there. If they need to just talk to someone, we have a concierge that answers the phone. Walks them through. We're able to get them resources right away that very day. And so it's just very beneficial. Even the littlest of questions. We had one of our first calls was a gentleman would get lost driving. Wife was concerned, so we had to find a mobile GPS for her husband so he wouldn't get lost.
Sure.
So we just have all sorts of resources.
Well, and now more and more, I know as we see new and innovative products. I mean, this is an area of the country. Phoenix is one reason that we started out here is where people expect us to get figured out. We have a good sized population, especially for those that are geographically and separated from their families. I mean, they're expecting that we're gonna be able to innovate, and we think that way. A lot of what we do.
Well, and we have to, because our population, we have over 250,000 80-year-olds in Maricopa County. We have almost 1 million 65-year-olds.
Yeah.
That's a huge demographic,
Yeah.
and that's going to be a challenge if we're not innovative
Right,
in what we're
right.
doing.
Well, and we see, nationally where well over 90 or just over 90% of families usually live within an hour. We don't have that same. We have challenges on the other side of that here in this particular market with the way that snowboards work and the way that people kind of come and pass through the market. So look, we've talked about at home. If your family member lives here and you live outside of the market, great. This is a good resource for you that understands that Phoenix market and where that is. If you don't know the Phoenix market, that's okay. There are ways to get you up to speed quickly, and Senior Resource Connectors is really one of those top places to help get you oriented.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We think so.
We do as well. So tell us, when a family is starting to get online or starting to look, any nugget of advice for places to maybe start, or a piece of information to start pulling out as they wander into these conversations with mom and dad, or prepare themselves to have a conversation?
I think my husband, who's been in the business for over 20 years, says it best. When you're talking to mom and dad, you always have to say, I don't ever want to do anything to you. I want to do it with you. And if we can remind our parents that we really are walking this journey with them,
Yeah.
and not to do something for them, because there can be a crisis situation and then we have to do something.
Yeah.
And we want their permission and to walk with them.
Yeah, I mean, the same way that we don't want to be sold stuff. We want someone to consult us off of that. I hear you saying that's a great approach when handling our parents. When we lean in consultatively and think about it from that perspective.
Yeah, because we're still their children.
Yeah,
and
that's
that's
a real thing.
I'm living that right now. So yes.
Yeah, you and me both, sister. You and me both. Yeah. So tell us, where do the families find Senior Resource Connectors?
You can go to our website at www.seniorresourceconnectors.com. That's pretty much the easiest way. We're on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram as well.
Yeah, and you'll find us, obviously, being a local partner. You will find them off of parent projects. You'll see us referring out. If you're in that Phoenix market, this is a great resource for you. Head down into there. That'll help you get your bearings. And boy, I just really appreciate it, Stacey Fischer. Thanks so much for joining us and sharing your time, talents, and treasures.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you. It was good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you here. And that's going to set us up for a little break on here. Join us here in just a bit. Stay tuned, and we'll be back to the 2023 Phoenix Media Day here with Parent Projects.